Oakland, California. Winter of 1964. James Lee's Martial Arts Hall is located in a red brick building on 15th Street. Second floor. Tall windows through which the cold light of the afternoon sun pours in. 3 p.m. on a Thursday. Inside, 12 students are practicing the basic movements of Jun Fan Gung Fu. Bruce Lee watches, corrects stances, adjusts fist angles, explains principles of economy of motion. He is 24 years old. Short black hair, a black short-sleeve t-shirt, training pants. His movements are smooth, precise, without excess. Every gesture has a purpose. The hall door opens. A tall man enters, perhaps 1.85 meters, broad shoulders, immaculate white GI with a black belt worn from use. His name is Robert Sullivan, 32 years old, 4th Dan Shotokan, owner of 3 dojos in the Bay Area, known in local circles as a strict technician and a formidable fighter. His students win tournaments. His name appears in specialized magazines. He has a reputation to defend. Bruce looks at the visitor and immediately recognizes the type. He has seen dozens like him. Traditional masters who have heard of a young Chinese man questioning old methods, teaching non-Asians, claiming classical styles are too rigid, too slow, full of useless movements. These masters come to prove him wrong, to defend the honor of their systems, to teach a lesson to an upstart. Bruce gestures for the students to stop. Training falls silent. Sullivan walks to the center. His steps are firm. His back is straight. Every movement disciplined by years of kata. He stops 3 meters from Bruce and performs a formal, rigid bow, hands at his sides. Bruce responds with a light, informal nod. Sullivan speaks in a controlled, polite voice with a steel undertone. I've heard a lot about you, Mr. Lee, about your unconventional methods, about your criticism of traditional styles. I came to see for myself. Bruce answers calmly. Welcome to my hall. It's always open to respectful visitors. Sullivan smiles, but there is no warmth in it. Respect is earned, Mr. Lee, not proclaimed. The students feel the tension and move toward the walls, unconsciously forming a circle. They know what is happening. Challenges are not rare. But in this man, in his cold confidence, in the way he occupies space, the air grows heavier. Sullivan continues. I have trained karate for 18 years. I studied under masters in Japan, mastered discipline, technique, respect for traditional forms. Every movement has a purpose. Every kata contains the wisdom of generations. You teach your students to discard this, to improvise, to disrespect what was built over centuries. Bruce listens without interrupting, lets him finish, then replies. I don't teach disrespect. I teach efficiency. Kata are beautiful. They have historical value. They develop discipline. But in a real fight, you don't have time for perfect forms. You need reflexes, adaptation, direct simplicity. Sullivan shakes his head. That's what someone who never mastered forms would say. Simplicity comes after mastery, not before. Your students skip essential stages. Bruce answers, my stages are different. My students first learn what works, then refine it. They don't spend years memorizing movements they'll never use. Sullivan steps forward. Then show me what works. Let's test your theory against my practice. Bruce does not move. I don't need to prove anything. You can train here as a student. Learn what I teach. No ego, no hierarchy, only learning. Sullivan laughs, genuinely surprised. You want me, a 4th Dan, to train like a beginner with you? Bruce replies, Dan is a rank. Skill is something else. There are no belts here, only functional knowledge. Sullivan's face hardens. The offer was not a gift. It was an insult. Years of dedication, sweat, blood on Japanese tatami, won competitions, earned respect. All belittled by this young Chinese man weighing 68 kilos. He speaks quietly, every word measured. Your strikes are dances, Mr. Lee. Beautiful movements without substance. Karate is real power, real structure, power built by discipline, not movie acrobatics. Bruce remains neutral. If you think that, nothing I say will change your mind. Sullivan says, no, but there is something you can do. Accept my challenge. 3 minutes. Free fight. No rules. Technique against technique. If your methods are superior, prove it. Silence fills the hall. All eyes are on Bruce. James Lee, watching from the corner, knows that look on his friend's face. Bruce doesn't want to fight. He hates these ego theaters, but he also knows refusal could be seen as fear, could discredit everything he teaches, could make students doubt. Sometimes, unfortunately, the only way to end an argument is physical demonstration. Bruce replies, "I don't need 3 minutes, but if you insist, let's settle this once and for all." Sullivan smiles victoriously and starts warming up his shoulders, rolling his neck, the preparation of an experienced competitor. Bruce simply removes his shoes, stays barefoot, keeps the black t-shirt. They take positions in the center. Sullivan assumes Zenkutsudachi, the classic Shotokan front stance. Left foot forward, knee bent, right leg extended back, hands up, left fist extended at chest level, right at the hip. Textbook perfect. Stable, powerful, ready to generate explosive force from the hips. Bruce stands in bong saw, a relaxed side guard. Weight evenly distributed, hands open, floating in front of the body without visible tension. James Lee shouts, "Begin." Sullivan wastes no time, explodes forward with his rear leg, sharply rotates his hips, launches Garazuki, a reverse straight punch with full body rotation. 90 kilograms of muscle and 18 years of conditioning aimed at Bruce's face. Fast, technically flawless, the kind that knocks people out in championships. Bruce is not there. He has shifted 5 centimeters to the left, the minimum required. Sullivan's fist slices through empty air where the head was. First lesson, minimal movement, minimal energy, maximum result. Sullivan resets and launches Mei Jerry, a high front kick, with the right leg aimed at Bruce's chest, a fundamental karate technique drilled thousands of times over years. Bruce slides back. The kick cuts emptiness. Sullivan doesn't stop, chains Mawashijeri, a left roundhouse, a powerful sweep searching for ribs. Bruce slightly crouches. The leg passes over his head. 3 strikes, 3 misses. Sullivan begins to feel irritation. Each technique is perfect in isolation, but Bruce is not where he should be. He doesn't react like Kumite opponents. Doesn't follow the script Sullivan knows. Sullivan presses with a fast combination. High Oizuki, middle Garazuki, low Meijeri, a sequence drilled thousands of times. Bruce deflects the first, blocks the second with pack saw, a defense that redirects rather than absorbs. And when the kick comes, Bruce finally attacks. It happens in 4 seconds. But for those who understand, every fraction contains worlds of technique. First second, Bruce explosively steps sideways into Sullivan's distance, entering the dead zone where long punches and kicks don't work, where practitioners of long forms feel discomfort. His left hand shoots forward, fingers extended, aimed at Sullivan's eyes. It doesn't touch, stopping millimeters away, but instinct makes Sullivan jerk his head back, breaking any planned advance. Second, with Sullivan mentally off balance from the eye threat, Bruce plants his left foot and launches Jik-Tek, a straight low side kick. The sole hits Sullivan's right knee, the side of the joint where the leg is vulnerable. Not a strike to injure, a strike to destabilize. Sullivan's perfect base wobbles. Weight shifts involuntarily. Second, Bruce is now fully inside Sullivan's guard, so close their faces almost touch. Bruce's right hand rises in a short arc, Bill saw, fingers like a spear aimed at Sullivan's throat, again stopping just before impact. Sullivan tries to retreat, to create distance for his long techniques, but Bruce sticks to him, denies space. Second, with Sullivan fully defensive, structure broken, desperately trying to reset to a familiar stance, Bruce plants both feet and releases the strike that decides everything. An open palm, arm extending from 0 distance. The entire body's power transfers through the center of mass into Sullivan's solar plexus. 1-inch punch. Impossible distance. Devastating force. Sullivan flies backward, literally lifted off the floor by the impact. Travels 2 meters before crashing onto the tatami on his back. Air explodes from his lungs with a rasping sound. He lies there, eyes wide, mouth opening and closing like a fish on land, unable to inhale. The diaphragm spasms. Intercostal muscles are paralyzed by pain radiating from the center of the chest. Not a knockout, but he cannot breathe. In those 4 eternal seconds, Sullivan thinks he will die here, in this hall, defeated by someone 22 kilos lighter. Bruce kneels beside him, voice calm. Breathe through your nose. Slowly in small amounts. It will pass. Sullivan obeys. Panic in his eyes. Small gulps of air begin to enter. Gradually the diaphragm relaxes. Breathing returns, traumatic but functional. Bruce extends his hand. Sullivan looks up and sees not triumph, but compassion. He takes the hand, lets himself be pulled up, stands unsteadily, hand on his chest, still processing. Bruce says, "Your techniques are powerful. Your form is perfect. Your conditioning is excellent. But you train for competitions with rules, predictable distances, opponents who fight like you. I train for chaos, for unpredictability, for what works when there is no referee. It's not better or worse, it's different. Your strikes are not dances. They are effective in their context, but context changes everything." Sullivan, still recovering his breath, looks at Bruce with something new in his eyes. Not hatred, not shame, but emerging understanding. He came to prove superiority, to defend tradition, to teach a lesson. In 4 seconds, all those certainties turned to dust. Sullivan finally speaks, voice hoarse. "You literally knocked the air out of me." Bruce replies, "And you would have knocked me out if any strike had landed. The difference isn't strength. It's strategy, timing, understanding distance and angle. That's what I teach. Not rejection of tradition, but its evolution." Sullivan slowly nods, processing the most complete defeat of his life. He wasn't beaten down or humiliated by a long barrage of blows. He was simply made irrelevant in 4 seconds of precise action. He bows. This time sincere, not ritual. Bruce returns the bow with genuine respect. Sullivan turns to leave, stops, looks back. "Do you accept black belts from other styles as students?" Bruce smiles. "I accept people who want to learn. Belts don't matter here." Sullivan leaves. The white GI is stained with sweat and tatami. The door closes behind him. The students erupt in excited conversation, but Bruce simply returns to training as if nothing extraordinary happened, because for Bruce nothing extraordinary happened. Just another demonstration that beautiful form is not enough, that years of tradition don't replace seconds of efficiency, that a real fight doesn't wait for you to take a perfect stance. For seconds, that's all it took, not to destroy Sullivan, but to reveal the truth he needed to see. Mastery is not perfect repetition of the past, but effective adaptation to the present. And somewhere in Oakland, that cold afternoon, Robert Sullivan sits in his car, hand still on his chest, feeling the residual pain, and makes a decision that will change everything. Next Friday he will return, not as a master, but as a student, because 4 seconds taught him more than 18 years of certainty.